Alrighty. Welcome back to the International Wealth Builders Association radio talk show. I'm your host, Latoya Tillett, here with my special guest, Chase Hunter. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get Chase back on the line. It looks like we had a little disconnect with our Zoom, so we're going to get her back here in just a second so we can talk to her a little bit more about her newest position within the international sales agent realm. And so I'll tell you guys a little bit. So we are actually having our first tour into Mexico. Let me get the sound off. Okay, into Mexico in May. So I'm super excited for that. Just definitely working on getting everything together so I can let you guys know a little bit more. So if you're interested in purchasing property in Mexico, we could definitely assist you with that. And then I can give you guys more information and more details as we get everything ironed out with our developers. All right. So I think we got Chase back on the line. Chase, can you hear us okay? All righty. So, Chase, before we went to that last commercial break, I was touching on your new position within the international sales agent realm. So, can you let the people know what it is that you're doing? I kind of gave it away a little bit because we were having the technical difficulties, but you can let everyone know what your new position is.
Absolutely. So, I am the new ambassador for Costa Rica.
Woo!
I'm so excited about that. So
excited. Yes. Congratulations on that. So what made you want to do Costa Rica?
I was like, it's different. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's a challenge. I love challenges. Yes. I'm like, it's a different market. I think it's a place where I can sell because I can get people to understand, what's going on there. And it's just, I just it felt good.
Yes. Okay. So it just felt right to you to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and submit to be the ambassador of Costa Rica. So that is really, really cool. So have you had a chance to dig in yet and start getting your feet wet with what those duties are?
I am actually a meeting with Tamika and we are going to just dive in and figure it all out.
Yes, that's awesome. And this is such a great opportunity that's been, brought to you as a lot of us are women within the group, but we do have some men that are international sales agents as well. But I know I originally started with the Women Investor Network, where we're all women in that group, and just the opportunities that Dr. Tamika Bryant brings into the table to help women excel primarily. Yes, she wants to help everyone excel, but she really has a heart for the women to excel and to be able to, make some footway in this industry that's mostly male dominated in most cases, especially when you start getting into the commercial real estate, which I specialize in commercial. And, of course, I've had to bang down some doors myself and, and also get into the development realm of it. Cause it's like, we got to stick together. The girls got to come through and we got to be like, hey, we're here too. We can do this too. So
yeah, we absolutely do. And that's what I think I love so much about it is because he's, so willing to pour into you. And if you need to know and you want to know, I think she's willing and able to be there. And I think a lot of people think, I'm scared to ask because I feel like it's going to be, are people going to look at me or they think it's a dumb question? But if you don't know what you don't know.
That's true. That's true. And you may help someone else. Right. And you'll help someone else who has that same question, who's also afraid to speak up. So, yeah. Exactly. Definitely. I don't mind asking questions. I'll be like, hey, sometimes I don't. And I'll be like, oh, well, I could figure it out. But if I just get to a point where I can't figure it out, I'm like, hey, what's this? Or how you do this? Or how should I go about doing this way? Because I've actually been fortunate enough to go through a couple of coaching sessions with Dr. Tamika Bryant. So,
how's that?
Yeah. It's the, how was that for me? I was, I still have kind of PTSD from it, but not PTSD in a bad way. It's in a really good way. Every time I see myself getting off track or find myself, starting to kind of veer in another direction, I literally feel her bop me on the head, don't go over there. Go back on that side. What are you doing? Why are you thinking about doing that? Stay right here. And so it does definitely help keep me on track because her voice, it just stays in your head. It stays with you forever. So I'm it's been let's see, I met her in 2020 during the pandemic, and that's kind of how we kind of crossed paths and met on Facebook of all places. So social media has been huge and instrumental in bringing people from across the country and across the world really together. Because I live in California. Of course, she's she's free spirit, so she's got her different places that she's at. so, so I'm like, oh, okay, and we actually met face to face at the first Teach at the Beach conference that I attended in Panama City Beach, Florida, which was amazing, and I have been every year since then. I can't wait till this one too. So we'll be in Puerto Rico. Woo!
I'll be there. Yes, I will be there as well.
Yes. Awesome. So how are you?
After doing her mastermind, I was like, whew, that was an intense.
It was intense.
Yeah,
the homework, huh?
Yeah, a lot of homework, but it brought so much clarity into my business. And you're right, like her voice sticks over and over in your head, and then you're like, okay, no, I can't veer off, and then it brings you right back and center you right back. So I think without that piece,
right,
I would still kind of, be trying to figure it out and find my way. But now it's like, no, I know what path I'm going on. I know what direction, and everything makes sense now.
Right. See, it's just that sometimes you just need that person from the outside to just kind of help you pull it all in together, because we're always just doing so much. Like, it's easy for me to tell somebody how they need to structure their business to, maximize their tax benefits and, how they can get things together. But sometimes I can't see what I need to do within my own business. So having that outside person come in and say, hey, look, you have these pieces and that pieces, if you need to stop doing that and do this more and pull these two together, to make this work. You just need that sometimes in life. And so, if we just could find more accountability partners like that who want to actually see you win and see you succeed instead of it being a competition all the time, I think that's what it is that I like most about this group of women.
Absolutely. And then my group, specifically from the mastermind, like when we're in trouble or we are stuck, it's like a phone call and we're rallying.
Nice.
What's going on? What's happening?
That's
and I
amazing.
love that so much, because having someone to check in on you and say, hey, is everything good? What do you need? Did you do that yet? Did you say you're going to do that? Did you do it? And it made me so much stronger. Yes. In this real estate, especially, like carrying out something, because if no one's calling you out on it, you're like, okay, I don't have to do that right now.
Right.
I can wait. It could wait. But having someone saying, okay, so did you do that yet? It's been a month. What's going on?
Right. What are you doing now? What have you done towards that thing you told me you were going to do?
Exactly. We need that so much, especially as well.
Yes, the accountability is everything, and it definitely helps. And especially, like I said, if it's, a peer or someone that you can learn from, they can learn from you and you can learn from them. That just makes for the ultimate recipe of what an accountability partnership should be. And so that is absolutely amazing. Oh my goodness. And so what else? Tell me a little bit more about, being ambassador of Costa Rica. Like, what plans do you have? Other than of course, marketing and bringing people to the country, kind of what plans do you have for yourself to just really become the best ambassador you can be?
So I plan to spend quite a bit of time there, right? And just really kind of dive in. I want to understand the culture, because I'm a heavy researcher. When I get into something, I latch on, right? Yes. I want to know everything. I want to know the ins and outs. I want to know the places where to go and not to go, and what to do and what not to do, and make suggestions where to stay and things like that, because I'm a kind of a hotel snob, so I gotta know those places, and so that I can be able to relay that. And then not only that, not just for my customers, but what I realized with my core group in the ISAs, that they're like, okay, so we need more information, and there's some things that you're detail oriented and we need you to get that information. So we need you to what is the process? Document the process. And I'm like, okay, got it. Okay. Assignment accepted. Gotcha. So, what is the process of purchasing from start to finish, and who are those key people, and, what developments are, in and they should focus on for their clients as well. So it's kind of like dual situation. Like I'm not only working for my clients, but also the ISAs, because, you know, so many are coming in and they don't know what to do. They don't know where to start. And, you know, they have limited information because they're just not diving deep enough, or they don't know what questions to ask. So just mostly to help everybody.
That's cool. That's interesting. That's kind of how I feel too with it. And I was like, you know, in my head, I know it was, you know, the term ambassador was kind of tossed around a little bit in the beginning. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, I was thinking, I was like, well, if I was to become ambassador anywhere, it would be the Caribbean, because, you know, that's like the root of my household. You know, well, my husband's from Belize, so you know, the Caribbean influence is there. My kids are half Belizean, half American. You know, I guess I was Caribbean in my past life or something. But I'm like, oh, okay, it'll be easy. I'm like, I'll be the ambassador of, you know, the Caribbean, because I know that, you know, I know the different dialects and, you know, the dance and everything. And then Tamika was like, hey, you know, you brought a contact to the table. Why don't you be ambassador of Mexico? And I was like, huh, Mexico? I was like, dang. And I was like, challenge accepted. Yeah, I'll do that.
Exactly.
I was like, yeah, that's different. And I am getting to know so much more. I have been definitely deep diving into getting to know Mexico, how to purchase, you know, property there, how it works as being a foreigner buying investment property there. So I've learned a lot, because I know I've heard some questions, you know, swirling around that we can't actually own land in Mexico. So, you know, I'm pulling up their constitution to see, you know, what's in there. And I found in the Constitution of 1917, I actually said that, you know, foreigners couldn't own land, but in restricted areas. And I was like, oh, okay. So what are the restricted areas? Check that out. So the restricted areas are anything within like 30 miles of the coast and 60 miles of an international border. So I'm like, oh, okay. But then to get around that, because of course, you know, when a country exits someone out, they lose revenue. So they thought about it. It's like, okay, well, you know, if we let these investors go ahead and come in here, that's going to bring more money to us. So they found a way around that, which is where you can actually own beachfront properties and things like that through a bank trust. I mean, you'll be the beneficiary of the trust and everything, and you still run the trust as the owner, and it's just the same as owning land, but this is what you have to use in order to own in the restricted area. So that was something very interesting that I was able to learn about Mexico, because I'm like, you know, why can't we just have, you know, buy land? Like, why would people say we can't buy land there? But, you know, there are some restrictions, but the way to get around, they have like ways to get around it. So there's 3 different ways that you can own land in Mexico. So I was like, oh, this is cool. So it's not, you know, it's not a end all be all. So it's like, we can still do this. There's ways around the law. So we can do it and get it done.
It's always a loophole.
Always, right? It's like with the tax code. I'm just like, you know, it's over 70,000 pages. Like, nobody's going to know everything in it. You take the piece that you want to focus on and you dive into that, right? So, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, those are some fun things. I thought I'd just share that and throw that out there, since you're coming on as a fellow ambassador, you know, some things to kind of think about.
Yeah, because there's a lot to think about, and I'm grateful for that. Any little nuggets, I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to do that. So,
right.
Yeah, because I want to be informed and be able to pass things off, and, you know, tell people, yes, I know. Okay, go back and watch this video because I talked about that, right?
Exactly.
Kind of like that.
Which reminds me, I got to do my video on the land, on owning land and owning property in Mexico. I still hadn't gotten around to that video. So I need to get that done so I can put that out there, girl. So thanks for that reminder.
Anytime.
Right. All right, awesome. So we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break, and we'll come back and talk about what's next for you, Miss Chase, how people can get in touch with you, and, you know, just give them your information so we can get that going. So we see you guys in about 2 minutes.